Good evening, everyone. It is once again Ted the Speed Learner, and this is yet another episode of my For My Students video series. And just today, I received a rather large commentary from Roberto Blake, and I'm going to go ahead and read it to you. I'm also going to read my response to it. So bear with me, folks. So, what did Roberto Blake have to say? Well, here goes. Reference this video from Gary Vaynerchuk. I guess that's how you pronounce his last name. I don't know. But anyway, it says, as it puts some of this in perspective, and he gives a hyperlink to this, and I'm going to place that hyperlink down here in the commentary below. I will watch the video, and when I do, I'm going to create a video response to that video. So hang in there, folks. There'll be a video response to that. He says, I didn't use bots. I didn't do anything but make quality and education views. Okay. My response to this is as follows. I never said that you used copyrighted material or bots to get ratings and views. But neither did I. I didn't want you or anyone else to think that I ever did. I got those subscribers legitimately. Okay? As a matter of fact, the first 880 people I got to subscribe to me had little, if nothing, to do with sub for sub, or anything else for that matter. Okay? I did have some tricks, I did have some techniques, but it had nothing to do with bots, or copyrighted material, or sub for sub. Well, there was a little bit of sub for sub, but not very much. Actually, the majority of it had nothing to do with sub for sub. And I didn't want people to think that that was the way it was. It wasn't. So, on that, we both agree. Bots, copyrighted material, an overuse of sub for sub, that's not going to grow your channel. It's actually going to defeat the whole purpose of what you're doing. So, on that, we do agree. Okay. So, what else did Roberto Blake have to say? The result is 5,000 net subscribers per month. 180 subscribers a month on average. Deploying my methods, Chris Du and Jose Cabellar grew their channel from 1,000 subscribers to 10,000 subscribers in 2015. Okay, that's kind of impressive. But was it just exclusively your techniques? Okay, did they use something else in combination with your techniques? I'll have to ask them, and I will find out. Okay? Then you go on to say, there is another channel called Creepypasta Guy who went on to get from 0 and went to 10,000 subscribers. Okay, but you didn't list what length of period of time that was. Okay, now the thing is, here's my response to that. I have no doubt that they listened to your ideas and embraced many of them. I'm sure they did. But you have yet to prove that they only used your methods to succeed. You didn't say, well, they used my methods and no other methods at all. And do you have proof of that? That's the thing. As someone who is familiar with statistics as I am, and I'm going to present that on my YouTube channel soon, I need you to prove that they only watched your videos exclusively and used only your ideas. You'll have to prove that a lot better. Okay. Now then, what's the next thing you say? Expectations and how you feel it should work is irrelevant in the face of reality. Gaming this system, that's not reliable. People become successful by being successful. What's my response to that? That is incorrect. People become successful by educating themselves and becoming more observant. That's how they become more successful. And I discussed this in an ebook that I just published. I know it was kind of a short book, but I did actually discuss this topic in great length in that ebook. So you're more than welcome to read it and see for yourself what I'm talking about. But if you don't read it, I don't care. I know there's going to be people now that's going to read this and see if I was telling the truth, and I am. Okay. It's just like the two shoe salesmen that traveled to a remote island. Both men saw the residents of the island had no shoes, but only one of them realized that this would be a great selling opportunity. He was the real success. How do you realize that this would be a great selling? How did he realize that this would be a great selling opportunity? He was an educated man and had become very observant. Think of it this way. Who really became rich in the California gold rush? Was it the miners? No. It was the merchants who sold Touchstone. I assure you, they also sold pots and pans and all the kinds of supplies to the miners. They're the ones that actually became rich. Actually, the saloon owners became rich too, because they found a way to get the gold out of the hands of the gold miners. And yes, I can say that their version of casinos did the same thing too. And the brothels did too, so you're kind of getting the idea. The gold miners themselves did not get all that rich. It was everybody else that got rich in the end. As a matter of fact, if you look at the history closely enough, those gold miners, when they couldn't find any more gold, traveled to Arizona. Well, a lot of them did. I don't know about all of them, but a lot of them did. And they found borax. And that's how they made some of their fortunes. So really, it wasn't the gold that made them the fortune. You can check that out for yourself. Okay, then you go on to say, nobody knew about my channel 2.5 years ago. Nobody is entitled to an audience. What's my response to that? Incorrect. If you are providing a valuable service, you are entitled to an audience. You really are. And if people don't listen to you willingly, you just keep speaking louder until they actually do. Obviously, well, I don't know whether you did or not, but it doesn't appear to me like you watched the movie Boy, I have a terrible time with this. The Shawshank Redemption. Have you ever watched that movie? If you haven't, you should. And then you get the idea about persistence and becoming louder and louder until somebody finally starts listening to you. So yes, if you provide a valuable service, you are entitled to an audience. That's incorrect. Okay. And yes, I do say persistence pays. Always. If one person won't listen to you, another one will. Guaranteed. Then you go on to say, it requires work, not a gaming system, but actually working smart and hard. Now, my response to that, on this point we partially agree. Many of my friends and relatives ripped their bodies apart performing hard work, but some of them still ended up in poverty. So physical labor alone won't guarantee success. However, a gaming system can work if you play the right game. The problem is that many of these people are playing the wrong game. You say, well, if they're playing the wrong game, what's the right game? And I'll discuss that in greater length at the end of this video. Okay? So, then you go on to say this. I'm not taking away from what you feel you have accomplished. Hold it. My response to that? You are when you say what I feel I have accomplished. I don't feel like I've accomplished anything. I have accomplished things. I was the one who searched my local library for an answer to my bullying situation. Nobody else searched the library for that. I did. I was the one who read the memory book by Harry Lorraine. I taught myself to speed read. I taught myself how to speak, read, and write the Italian language. I taught myself HTML, SVG, CSS, and JavaScript. I bought all those books. I read them. I used Harry Lorraine's memory techniques to memorize all this stuff. I used the speed reading techniques to actually read the books themselves because I had precious little time. I did all that. I taught myself Euclid's Elements. I didn't go to college for that. I taught myself, and I have clearly illustrated all this on my YouTube channel. I uploaded hundreds of low-quality videos that are being watched to this very day. Yes, people do watch those videos, even though they are in low quality, because the information inside those videos is very relevant to them. That's a success. To get somebody to watch a low-quality video and learn something out of it is a success. I know that's how you define success, but that's exactly how I define it. I also assisted Boink the Clown and Crazy Josh Cravey as they attempted to gain views and subscribers. Yes, they had other techniques that they used as well, but they did enter my video response wars on a regular basis. As a matter of fact, Crazy Josh Cravey continues to enter my video response wars. He continues to get views, and he continues to get subscribers because of it. That's not the only reason why, but it is one of the reasons why he does. So part of their success is due to me. So that's wrong. I also got some other people to participate in my video response wars. I did video responses to their videos, and they actually answered my questions. As a matter of fact, I actually had one YouTuber, and this was a while back. I actually reviewed their video in intricate detail, and they did a video response back to me with every single answer that I wanted. That's a success. So before you start talking to me about what I feel is that is a success. To successfully get people to do that is a success. So don't say I felt successful. I was successful. Period. End of story. Now then, I also have defied many of my critics. I can't tell you how many people told me that I would be off the air in 2 to 3 years. In March, it will be 7 years on YouTube. And I'm still going strong. I still get views. I still get ratings. I still get subscribers. So, that's bunk. So I call what I'm doing right now a decent success. It may not be the same success as you've had, but what I have done is successful. And you can't say anything to refute it. Not one thing. Okay. Then you go on to say, also you talk about you feel you deserve a video response. I have 70,000 subscribers. Okay. My response to that, and how many of those 70,000 subscribers have watched one of your videos from beginning to end and uploaded an intelligent video response? I don't think you've had a single one watch a video from end to end and critiqued it from beginning to end. I've watched more than one of your videos. And obviously you've seen mine. I uploaded a video response to you, and I expect the same thing out of you. Now, whether you do it or not is not important. The important thing is, I deserve that. I went to extra effort to talk to you. I expect the same thing. Now, the next thing you say is, making a video and calling me out on it doesn't mean that I should take the time out of my day and my business to make a video to address someone who disagrees with me versus doing paying work or addressing the whole of my audience. You've lost the entire concept of what YouTube is all about. It is social media. It's how we communicate with one another. That's the very foundation of YouTube. What was one of the biggest things that we did early on in the YouTube business? We made video responses. Ask Dan Brown. Ask Hemi Jeep 19. Ask Ray William Johnson. They'll tell you. Some of the biggest reasons why they became successes in the first place is because they made video responses to other people's videos. And this happens to this very day. You missed the fundamental concept of what YouTube is all about. It's about doing what I'm doing right now. That's what it's all about. And yes, I rely heavily on video responses. That's a fact. That in itself has gained me more subscribers than Sub for Sub ever did. But I will discuss Sub for Sub a little bit later, so just hang in there. Okay. Alright. Now, like I said, I do video responses all the time. It gains me views and video duration time. People become curious as to what I'm going to say about their channel or their video or whatever the heck it is. And they'll watch it from beginning to end just to see everything I have to say. So that increases my video duration time. And as we all know, video duration time is critical to the success of a YouTube channel. Are you saying you don't know any of this? Are you lacking observation skills? Okay. Then you go on to say, this goes back to the entitlement that is becoming rampant in the YouTube community. Everyone feels entitled to an audience. Everyone feels entitled to. On this, for the most part, I agree with you. I'm heavily opposed to the Wall Street movement. Most of these people have been denied a decent education. I'm doing my best to fix this on this YouTube channel. Think about this for a second. If you are dealing with eviction, starvation, and bullyism, how are you going to transport yourself from your house, which maybe you own at the moment, but you may not own for much longer? How are you supposed to transport yourself from the house to the college? How are you supposed to pay for the books? How are you supposed to pay for the class and the teachers? You can't. So where else are you going to get this education? Well, you can turn to YouTube all you want. But some of those people are not very good at teaching. I know, I've watched some of their videos. Some are, some aren't. But I can tell you how many people have come to me and say, you're a great teacher. Some of them actually wish that I would actually go into formal teaching. I won't, because they have rules I don't like, and I have no intentions of following, but there you go. So, there you have it, there you go. Okay. The next thing you have to say is, yes, thumbnails and artwork and profile pics do matter. Okay, my response to that is, I agree to a certain degree. But they are also time-consuming. This is something I intend to fix on my YouTube channel. I say to everybody that I use a combination of video responses, sub for sub, collab videos, and video share for share to gain a decent audience. Okay? Now, if you guys follow this advice, once you get a decent audience like what I have now, then you should invest your time in creating graphics using SVG. By that point, you'll be earning a decent income off of YouTube, which will help you pay your bills, which will get you hopefully out of some of this debt you're in. And let me tell you something. I don't have any car debt. I don't have any house debt. I don't have any credit card debt. None of it. I am completely debt-free at this point. Everything you see in here is mine. All of it. I'm not in the best financial condition of them all, but I can tell you this, I'm in far better condition right now than a lot of the people that I teach. And that's a fact. And I bring this up because you brought up the subject of struggling, and I will get into that a little bit later in your response. And that's my response to you. I may not be filthy rich, but by gollies, I'm debt-free. How many people can say that right now? And I intend to stay debt-free. And I intend to teach you guys how to stay debt-free. So once you start making a stable income from YouTube, okay, then start applying the teachings I've given you on HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and SVG using the Exist database. That's what I say. Okay? At that point, you can fix your thumbnails and your artwork because you will have established a decent second income. This will provide you the time you need to fix the thumbnails and create the artwork. So on that, like I said, I agree with you on that part. Now, you go on to say, bigger YouTubers have pointed this out for years. Okay. What's my response to this? And yet, many of them fail to mention their video responses and their stupid YouTube challenges. Feel free to take a look at some of their earliest videos. You'll see what I mean. Then you go on to say, the reason it matters is when competing in the marketplace, guess what? Books are judged by their cover. And my response to that? This means that many YouTube viewers lack decent observation skills. I am doing my best right now to correct that oversight, and that was part of the reason why I put up that first ebook, and I'm going to put up a second ebook which will go more in depth than what the first one did. And for those people that are sitting there saying, well, that first ebook was only 10 to 12 pages long. like I said in a previous video, it has nothing to do with the number of pages. It's what content was actually in there, and that is worth the money that you'll spend on it. I guarantee it. Go ahead, put me to the test. I'll prove myself correct. Okay. Okay, then you go on to say you disagree, but the most successful channels have these things in common. You defend sub for sub that you got 120 something subs in 1 month. Cool. That is what I get in a day on a low day. Okay, that's not exactly what I said. I said I defend finding sub for sub YouTube videos. They actually upload YouTube videos declaring themselves a sub for sub channel. And then I go on to say that I interact with people who leave comments on those particular videos. They're the sub for sub I seek out. I don't just go to random channels. As I said earlier, I don't go to random channels and ask for sub for sub. I go to these specific videos and I check out their comments and I talk to those people, and that's how I get my sub for sub. This is forming a sub for sub community. It's its own forum. And now you see why it works. Those people want people to sub to them. And they want ratings. And they want views. And they want video duration time. Now you say, well, not all of them do. You're right, not all of them do. But many of them do. And when I go seek them out, I give them that opportunity. Because I don't just go to them and say, look, I want a sub for sub. I also say, no, go check out my channel as well. Participate in my video response wars. Give me a reason to critique your videos and answer my questions. That's how you get successful on YouTube. Alright. Now, I actually create video responses for their particular videos, whether they participate in the contest or not, but it's more likely I will critique their videos if they participate in my video response wars contest. That's actually a guarantee for them. But if they don't, I still will probably find their videos and critique them. If they respond to me, they're a loyal subscriber. If they don't, I drop them. I unsub them. Because I know they're not serious. The serious ones will answer my questions, and they will watch my videos, and they learn a lot from that. Okay? At one time, video responses was the very foundation of YouTube. And you should know this, and I know this, because I've been at it for 7 years, which apparently is a little bit longer than what you've been at it as. Okay? Now, you could ask your more successful YouTubers about this. Ask Dan Brown. Ask Kimmy Jeep 19. Ask Ray William Johnson. They're going to tell you this. They're going to tell you about the plethora of video responses that are out there that have been around for 6 or 7 years. And it was one of the core reasons why they were so successful. It wasn't the only one, but it was one of the core reasons why they were so successful. And they will agree with me on this. Alright. Now what's my further response to this? By the way, half of the people that subscribed to me became active subscribers. They entered my video response wars contest, as I stated earlier. They watched my videos. They complimented me. How many of your subscribers leave you well thought out comments? Not just comments, but very well thought out, well organized. They go through your video from beginning to end, and they give you full-blown, large commentaries. Not as many as you'd like to think. Okay? That takes dedication. When somebody leaves you a rather lengthy comment going piece by piece through every single one of your videos, they're serious people, and you need to pay attention to them. I pay attention. How about you? Okay? And how many of your subscribers have uploaded full-blown video responses to you? I appear to be the only one. Feel free to contradict me on this. I'd love to see some of these other responses, if you have them. I would love to see other people that have left you full-blown, well-thought-out video responses to any of your videos. I'd like to see that. I actually, like I said, Earlier in this video, I actually had one guy, he watched my video response to him, and he made a full-blown, well-thought-out video response answering every single question that I ever had. I was impressed. Okay, then you go on to say, most of your arguments here have no real proof behind them and basing your points on your opinions and personal feelings. My response to that? I totally disagree. I receive over 6,000 views every single month and 8,000 watch time minutes every single month on low-quality videos. Not the high-quality videos, the low-quality videos. If that's not success, I don't know what is. Okay. Now then, you go on to say, you talk about being tired. No. Let me redefine that. I'm actually discussing, quit using talk about, I discussed sleep deprivation. Now you say, well, why'd you say that? I had an English teacher, and I tell you what, a lot of kids use the word understand in her class, and she immediately corrected them and said comprehend is not understand, it is comprehend. She really critiqued my English grammar. I'm not kidding you. And I'm better for it today because of it. I actually had to apologize to her one day because even though her teaching methods pretty much sucked, what she was teaching us was exactly what I needed to know. I didn't pay attention, and I paid the price. She was right, I was wrong, and I apologized to her. And I'm glad I got to do it before she passed away. So, no regrets there. Okay. Then you go on to say, I've done a video where I even live streamed at 1:30 in the morning and went for 45 minutes. Did you try to do this with only 4 to 6 hours sleep? I don't think so. That's the difference. Then you go on to say, the reason that quality impacts the channel is because an expectation has been set by the marketplace. You're trying to logic your way out of this to rationalize your point of view. No, I'm not. Then you go on to talk about the job market. I discussed the job market. I didn't talk about it, I discussed it. Cutting grass would make them more money than YouTube videos with faster turnaround. Oh yes, here's my response to this. Oh yes, the bleak job market. Really. Most of my friends and family have decent level educations. However, many of them struggle to find and keep jobs. And even if you don't possess decent web skills, forget about earning any kind of income at all. I guarantee you that. No employer today will hire anyone who can't apply for a job on the internet or successfully operate a computer, kiosk, touchscreen. Go ahead, try to prove me wrong. I'm telling you, every one of them's like this. They won't even touch you with a 10-foot pole if you can't do that. Manufacturing jobs have gone that way. Retail jobs have gone that way. I know. I work in retail. My friends work in retail. They'll tell you, if you can't operate a kiosk, touchscreen, or the internet, you're not going to get hired. It's the way it is. You're either smart or you're unemployed. That's it. You don't believe me? Go check it out. Okay? And exactly how many physical labor jobs are being replaced by robots, touchscreens, or internet ordering? I'm telling you, the jobs are drying up faster than a riverbed. That's a fact. And technology is drying it up. The employers are figuring out that the computers can do it a lot less expensively and a lot more efficiently. And that's what they do. Okay. If you don't believe me, why don't you check out all those automated checkout lines at grocery stores? That'll tell you the whole story. So will these people find themselves a decent job under these conditions? I wouldn't exactly bet on it. For some, YouTube seems to be about their only hope. And if it's not YouTube, it's some kind of internet marketing, whatever type job. That seems to be about their only hope of earning income anymore. Okay, then you go on to say, I'm not even kidding. You have to bust your hump, and there's a 30-day turnaround before YouTube gives you something. A lot can happen in 30 days, and there is a lot of competition. Okay, so what's my response to that? I agree there is a lot of competition, and you do have to put a lot of effort into successfully operating a YouTube channel. But it doesn't have to take forever to reap a decent return. I'm living proof of that. Shoot. In 2011, I managed to achieve 100,000 lifetime views. It didn't take very long for me to finally get 500 subscribers. It took a few years, but the thing is, the reason why it took so long is because I hadn't fully developed my skills. Now I have, and it doesn't take near as long. As a matter of fact, since 2011, I have been getting 75,000 views per year on low-quality videos. Imagine that. Talk about success. That's success. Okay. Then you go on to say, they could literally make a few hundred in a single day doing service jobs or freelance work and not have nearly the difficult time that it takes to be successful in YouTube. Well, if they can find the jobs and if they get hired, they can. Yeah. Doesn't always work that way. Alright. It's actually because of this bad, bleak job market that they turn to places like YouTube right off the bat, because they know they're not going to get those kind of jobs. See what I mean? Then you go on to say affiliate marketing could make them hundreds a day. My response to that, I've tried many of these affiliate programs myself. I only ended up broke and sometimes in temporary debt. Temporary. Okay? So I was in debt for maybe $100 or $200, which I quickly paid off. I have done everything I can to make sure I don't stay in debt very long. And I got it very easily and quickly erased. So it wasn't like I was in debt for lengthy periods of time. I wasn't. I've pretty much maintained a debt-free life, and I continue to do that to this very day. Okay? Many affiliate programs are nothing but solid scams, and many people don't know how to distinguish a legitimate plan from a pyramid scheme. Perhaps you could make an entire video discussing how to determine whether an affiliate program is really legitimate or it's just some pyramid scheme that's not going to make you a dime. That would be helpful. Okay, let's go on. You say, I do that even now and make more than some people make considerably more money than I do from YouTube. To the equivalent, most people's salary is not bragging, but making a point. Okay. My response to that is the biggest drawback to affiliate programs is that many people don't trust you because they don't know who you are. Imagine that. That's the very reason I failed in marketing my own text-to-speech software. I developed my own text-to-speech software, but I couldn't market it because people didn't know me and they didn't trust my software. There you go. This is one of the reasons why I created my YouTube channel. It wasn't my only reason, it wasn't my biggest reason, but it was one of the reasons. I learned a valuable lesson from the story of Peter Cooper, the creator of Jell-O. Do you know what this guy did? I'll tell you what this guy did. When people would not buy his Jell-O, he actually created a Jell-O cookbook and slid it under the doors of every single person around him. And when they read the book, they bought his Jell-O so they could make the recipes. And I've been doing that much the same way here on YouTube. Once people know me, and they now know me pretty good now, a lot of them do trust me, not everybody, but a lot of them do. And some of these people have become my customers. And if it works for me, it will work for anybody else. It worked for Peter Cooper, it worked for me, and it will work for others. That's a valuable strategy. I would presume you know this lesson very well, because I have a feeling that's part of the reason why he succeeded so much. Okay. Now then, Roberto, this is you saying, by the way, to your perpetual jet lag point, when I was working two jobs through college, I still managed to read and freelance And as much as I hate this phrase, pull myself up by my bootstraps. So yeah, excuses. How were you able to read when you couldn't keep your eyes open? I like to know that one. I know people with disabilities, so do I. I know people who have worked themselves out of welfare and poverty with kids, and guess what? They did it. It's that simple. Yeah, well, here's my answer to that. And what was your GPA while you worked those 2 jobs? Did you struggle to read your textbooks? I'm sure you did. Did you provide any suggestions to climbing over that hurdle? I haven't seen any so far. But I have a solution. Now I'm going to present it to you. You can learn while you're falling to sleep. That is a fact. There are a lot of studies on that. You can look this up for yourself. Anybody can. Some people connect their smartphones to their speakers so they can set it next to their beds. Other people buy special pillows with built-in speakers and MP3 players. And right down here, I'm going to provide you with a hyperlink to a pillow with a built-in MP3 player so you can see this for yourself. Now, once you have this special pillow, you can convert my YouTube lessons into MP3 files and listen to them while you're falling asleep. Now, for many people, that would ease their learning struggles. Remember, a lot of my videos, you don't have to look at a particular illustration because a lot of my videos don't even have illustrations. Or if they do, they're very brief. You can take a look at it right before you go to bed, listen to it, and there you go. See what I mean? So yeah, that's one way I'm helping people ease their learning struggles. I think it's a wonderful idea. Now you say, well, if these people are facing eviction, starvation, and bullyism, well, if they're facing bullyism, they probably got decent internet and they can just pull it off. What about the ones facing eviction and starvation? Well, they haven't lost their house yet. They haven't lost their food yet. They're getting ready to, but they haven't done it yet. They may still have an internet connection. Even if they don't, they can go to their local library, use those computers, download my videos, turn them into MP3s. There you go. That's how that can be done. Okay. Now, in my particular case, of course, mastering the memory techniques of Harry Lorayne and learning how to speed read has helped me a lot. And I do cover this on my featured video, which you can find on my main channel page if you're a new subscriber. If you're a returning subscriber, ask me and I'll provide the link to you, the hyperlink. Not just a link. If you're going to sound professional, use professional language. It's not a link, it's a hyperlink. Okay, I know sometimes I get in the bad habit of calling it a link myself, but it really is a hyperlink, and you should use that kind of language. Whew. Okay. Now the thing is, you've never mentioned the art of speed reading or Harry Lorayne's memory techniques in any of your videos. I have. And I'm mentioning it in this one, and you should. Because if people master this, boom. Now the thing is that when I master the next part of SVG, I'm going to create actual illustrations. A lot of people have troubles with visualization, which is one of the key elements of Harry Lorayne's memory techniques. I'm going to help them start visualizing things, therefore they can fully deploy Harry Lorayne's memory techniques, and there you go. So that is something that's coming in 2016. Okay. Then you say, I disagree with you on YouTube. You say you show them how, but what are the success stories? What are the true gains? The true gains is they are no longer face eviction, starvation, and bullyism. That's the true gain. That's what they're looking for, and that's how they succeed. And I get this kind of response all the time. If you don't believe me, just take a look at the 6,000 views I get every month and the 8,000 minutes of view time. That ought to tell you something. Now me, personally, I've gained valuable knowledge and some income from YouTube. I have personally demonstrated earlier in this video how I assisted both Boink the Clown and Crazy Josh Cravey. And I have worked with many of my friends and family as well. Okay. Then you go on to say, and you say this is a second job for you. For a lot of people that is true, and hats off to you for giving your time. But I'm giving my time in addition to running a business that I built from the ground up, so I don't have to work a job that I dislike and can do what I enjoy while still making a living and investing in myself. My family didn't have a lot of money back when I learned this stuff in the 90s, and yet I acquired those skills. My response to that, I have no doubt that you struggle to acquire the skills you have. I also struggle to acquire the skills that I have. And my struggling caused me to appreciate my skills. Anything worthwhile is worth fighting for. That's true. Okay. Then you go on to say, I did this while also looking after my younger siblings. Do not assume I had things any easier than anyone. I worked hard to build a life of both success and happiness. My response to that is, I never assumed that you had it easier than anyone else. Nor should anybody else assume that. Perhaps you should have discussed your struggles in a YouTube videos. It would provide an inspiration to your viewers. I know I've discussed this myself. Alright. Then you go on to say, and so I can't give a ton of credibility to when someone decides to say, well, you don't have to work hard, but yet you are still fighting an uphill battle and are exhausted and working a regular job, doing a side job, and doing content, but then giving advice about how to stop struggling. My response to that is, it depends on what you consider struggling. Right now I'm debt-free, as I've said. My house is paid for, my car is paid for, I don't worry about credit card debt. I'm no longer struggling with sleep deprivation because I've actually risen up in my retail job. Okay? My hours are steady now, and I work for a company that won't close its doors without notice. That's a big benefit. Now, I will grant you that my life isn't perfect, and I also struggle to acquire a higher earning income. But the people I'm assisting right now envy me. They are experiencing a constant state of distress. This is something I have successfully overcome. I'm assisting them in overcoming this as well. Okay, then you go on to say, while I can appreciate and respect that you are trying to be helpful, you're disagreeing with me when my day-to-do life establishes my credibility since my methods led me having a level of financial freedom most people don't have, particularly since I started out in exactly the same circumstances you described your audience as having. Yet I escaped that cycle. As of yet, you are still working for someone else and supplementing your income. I control my time, money, and energy. There is a gap in the results we've achieved, and our methods are the reason, not our circumstances. And that is my overall point. Working smart and hard and deploying proving tactics reverse engineered from people who have the success you want is how you get where you want to be. You can't talk yourself out of the work it takes because you think it's unfair or you feel entitled to an easier life. Okay, my response to that, of course, no one can talk themselves out of the work it takes, but you can combine Harry Lorraine's memory technique, speed reading, and an MP3 pillow to achieve your goals quickly and not struggle as much. I'm living proof of this. Okay, then you go on to say, that didn't work for me. Sacrificing my free time, not watching TV and not going out with friends, and working hard and smart did. Educating myself instead of entertaining myself did. Not making excuses did. And now today I am free to travel and do things that I enjoy and do work that I find meaningful and profitable. Okay. My response to that is, but you never read Harry Lorraine's memory book, nor did you acquire any speed reading skills. Had you done so, you probably would have achieved your goals in half the time. The only reason why it took me so long is because I was fighting sleep deprivation. As I said before, you can't read while your eyes are closed. It's that simple. I had to try to cram my learning in the precious few days I had off. That meant that I spent most of my vacations way back then studying. What fun was that? It's not a good way to learn. That's why I'm paving a road for others so they don't have to face the same situation I did. I'm trying to improve their lives in the way that nobody did for me. Okay. Then you go on to say, so while I respect what you are attempting to do, I would challenge you to worry less about whether you feel you deserve a video response from me and just really evaluate the difference in the results of our actions have led up to. I've evaluated the difference between us, and it boils down to sleep deprivation. Had I not struggled with deep sleep deprivation, I would be more successful today. Now that I no longer struggle with sleep deprivation, I'm becoming more successful. Okay. Then you go on to say, since July 2013, I've grown my channel to 70,000 people. My response to that, are you implying that all 70,000 of your subscribers watch your videos all the time? I highly doubt it. I have no doubt that some of them do. How many? I'm not so sure. Okay. I'm also well aware that not all of my 1,000 subscribers watch me constantly, but I've successfully proven that many of them do. Okay, then you go on to say, by pivoting and deploying these tactics, use that to grow my business and find financial freedom, work with some of the largest brands in tech, launch a speaking career, a paid writing career, and develop multiple streams of revenue. Even now, from passive income streams outside of YouTube, I would enjoy an income in excess of what I made working as a marketing manager for an IT company, an in-house web designer, or even when I worked at an ad agency as designer in New York City. Those are the results and proof of my methods. Okay, my response to that is, what my audience wants most is not to worry about debt anymore. I've succeeded in this. They want an income they can control. I now have that income. My students yearn to work for a company that won't suddenly close their doors. I've achieved that as well. I agree I haven't been as successful as you have been, but I've accomplished a lot in the last 7 years, and now that I no longer experience sleep deprivation, I will accomplish more, and I will continue to share these accomplishments with my students. You go on to say, beyond that, the reason I gain followers is not only because I understand YouTube, which I'm not quite so ready to agree with you on that, but because of the fact that they work as evidenced by the 5,000 plus comments I get in YouTube every month. Are they well thought out comments? From people who thank me for them. Okay, they may thank you, but did they actually watch the whole video and give you a complete commentary? And the countless emails from people who have told me about the changes in life that have resulted. Well, I'm sure some people have, but how many? That's the question. Again, I may not receive as many emails as you do, but I receive my fair share. I anticipate that this will increase as my YouTube channel grows. You go on to say, people have to hustle. There is nothing more to it than that. You have to be willing to do the work required of you to get the place you want in life. Nobody is entitled to anything. The gazelle outruns the line, or it's game over, period. They are entitled to a decent education. That's what they're entitled to, and that's what I'm giving them here. So that part is wrong. Nothing about fairness or being deserving. Stop that for a second. If you give a man a fish, he eats for a day. If you teach him how to fish, he eats for a lifetime. So if you don't want these people suddenly showing up at your doorstep begging for food, you educate him. That's what I do here. In the story. It's down to you being good enough, smart enough, fast enough. You're not today? Cool. What do you do to get there for tomorrow? Then you go on to say, I will go on to say, I will re-emphasize that I only use the sub-for-sub method to complete a minor goal. I was at 880 subscribers. I needed to be at 1,000, and I did it. And it didn't take very long. It only took about 3 weeks to pull it off. And I finally reached my goal. I don't rely solely on sub-for-sub for any of my YouTube success. I combine educational videos, intelligent video responses, and social media promotion to achieve my goals. I also know that when I utilize my new SVG skills, I will gain even more subscribers, views, and income. I will agree that thumbnails and channel artwork are important to a YouTube channel. I also agree that no YouTube content creators should rely solely on sub-for-sub for success. Nor should any YouTube content creator ask random channels for sub-for-sub. But if used properly, sub-for-sub can be combined with other tools to create a successful YouTube channel. And that is my full response to you. I'm going to conclude this for now. Thank you very much for watching. I will tell you more in a future YouTube video, so I want you to stay tuned.